Okay, good evening, everybody, and welcome to our first edition of our Healthy Hacks. Having a healthy winter. We are really going to bring back our seminars and webinars to really empower you with some simple things you can do to improve your health, improve your wellness, and to keep you happy, especially during the winter months. So we've got some really powerful slides to share to help you to really grasp the information and take advantage of what we're going to share and what we're going to show to you today, so you can take away the information and hopefully use it to your greatest advantage. There are some of the things I'm going to share today that people have been asking me for over and over and over again. If I got £10 for every time somebody asked me for one of the particular hacks I'm going to share today, I would be at least a half a millionaire at least, because I've been asked for this particular hack so many times. So make sure you pay attention, especially when I get to the things you can do to save your teeth from having any form of operation or intervention. So now I'm going to make the screen fully wide so I can fully see, make sure that the screen is fully shared and all of the slides are very visible. Okay, fully visible. Okay, so now this is where it all gets a little bit technical. I haven't done this for ages. It's so good to be back doing the health webinars. Right, why can I see Maxwell's screen? I have a look. All right, I'm going to have to stop sharing, start again. Stop sharing, and then start again. Okay, so share. Yeah. Okay. And then share. Okay. I think that's it. Let me know if you can see it again. Just give me a thumbs up if you can see it. If you can see it, let me know. Let's make it full screen. Yep, slideshow. That's the one. Okay, here we go. So we're going to give you 5 simple hacks. Just to double check again that you can all see my screen, because I've done this in the past and I was rabbiting on and nobody could see what I was actually speaking about. So someone could say, yes, you can see the screen. I know that you can see the full screen and it's completely occupying the whole screen. Just let me know if you can see the screen fully and it's completely covering the whole screen. Check the chat. Yes, thank you, Maxwell. Brilliant. All right, so 5 simple hacks to keep you happy and healthy during the winter. Number 1, we're going to look at the respiratory and the lung hack. We're going to look at your gut instinct and stomach immunity, how you can protect your stomach during these winter months. We can also look at your feet using the power of reflexology. We're going to use the infamous, or the famous for those that know it, teeth hack, how you can protect your teeth and preserve your gums from having any kind of surgical intervention or any kind of operation that you probably would not need and you probably would not enjoy. I'm going to give you some really powerful hacks that you can use to prevent that from happening. And it's been very, very effective and very, very impactful in doing exactly what we said it will do, which is to prevent you from having to have any kind of tooth intervention or operation. The last one is how to stay safely away from the fridge and not being caught up with all those cravings at night time, especially for sugar, which leaves your immune system very vulnerable. So let's jump right in with number 1. Hack number 1 is the respiratory lung support hack. Now, this is using one of our very, very powerful flagship products called Respirate Lung Support. It's a very powerful combination of essential oils that have been put together to really help to clear the airways and unblock any blockages that may have accumulated in the lungs over, the festive season or over the winter period. Even if you're a person that just has a lot of fungus or mold in your house, sometimes that causes a lot of blockage in your lungs, especially if you have black mold in your shower and you're experiencing any kind of snoring or respiratory issues, allergies sometimes, or you have a seasonal allergy that comes on out of the normal hay fever season. You may have it during the winter, you may have it in January, you may even have it in the autumn. So if you have any of those kind of systems or situations happening, there are some very simple hacks that you can do to help to alleviate them and to give you a lot of relief. So we have a thing called Respirate Lung Support, which is a very powerful blend of essential oils that you can use in some of the following ways. You can use it by putting it into a bowl first and simply, as you can see in the images there. You put it in a bowl with some hot water and just cover you over your head and just inhale the aromas as they come out of that hot water. And sort of like you have your own steam to steam your face. It really clears the sinuses and it gets deep into the lung, because that's a very quick and easy way to get directly into the lung by using vapor or steam. You can also pour a couple of drops into your hands, rub them together and just put them close to your face, just like the woman is doing. Don't touch your face because it can be quite hot and it can actually sting your skin. But just inhale from your hands and do that a few times and you'll feel it going straight into the sinus. It goes in through the sinus, into the nose, into the lungs, but it also goes upward first. So it's going to go into the brain, where it actually hit the limbic system, where you have your feel-good centers, and you get a little bit of an endorphin rush. And you'll start to feel really good in yourself as you get that extra flow of oxygen flowing to your brain. You get an extra burst of oxygen flowing to your brain, and you get a much more clearer, powerful jet of clean air going into your lungs once the essential oils get to work on breaking down all the mucus. So those are just a couple of ways you can use it, but I'm going to show you a few more on the next slide. So you can actually use the one we said, where you cup your hands and put it towards your face. You could also put some drops on your hands, but you can also put a couple of drops on your chest or your back. If you're having a really bad cold or bad flu that you're finding it a bit hard to shift, you can add a drop or two and rub it into some, ideally put it into a carrier oil, some coconut oil, some almond oil, or whatever oil you have at your disposal. Even if you only have olive oil, you can use that as well. Rub a bit into the olive oil and then rub it into your chest or rub it onto your back each night. You can also place a drop or two on your pillow. It's a great way to help you to really get those lovely aromas coming up straight into your nostrils, going into your sinus to be, you're working on your system overnight as you sleep. It also helps to clear whatever's causing the snoring and to give you a nice, deep and restful sleep. I know people that use it quite extensively to really help them to get a good night's sleep when they're having trouble or having difficulty falling asleep. If you're traveling and you're going out and about and you know that it's going to be a little bit chilly or a little bit cutting out there where you could be exposed to other people who may be coughing and spluttering, you could also splash or rub a couple of drops into your scarf or your outer garment near your throat. So at the top of your lapel on the jacket or your coat, you can put a few drops of the respirate onto your jacket or your scarf. So you can be constantly breathing in the powerful essential oil aromas, and it will help to clear your sinuses because it's going to go in through your nose and in through your throat. Those are really powerful parts of the immune system, because in your nose you have your adenoids and your throat you have your tonsils. These are two of the 10 major divisions of your immune system that are responsible for preventing any airborne microbes or viruses or bacteria from getting into your bloodstream or getting into your system. So if you have those additional support resources to help to clear those airways, then it helps to protect your body from being infected by whatever's been projected into the air, either by somebody coughing or some other form of transmission. So then you've got number 5, which is to put a drop on your mask. If you wear a mask, some people wear masks when they're going out, especially in the areas that are highly polluted. I remember we first did this hack back during the time of COVID, where everyone was forced to wear a mask. So we kind of was using that, and people are really, really seeing the benefits of using it on a daily basis, because sometimes those masks can be quite claustrophobic or restrictive on your airways, especially when it comes to breathing. Not actually designed for long-term use, so I don't know why they recommended that as a means of prevention, but that was their decision back in the day. But yeah, if you want to use a mask, then put a drop, just a drop. Don't need more than a drop, because it's very, very potent. They are essential oils, so you have to use them very, very carefully. And that'll help you to breathe fresh oils or fresh essential oils in through your nostril all day. And it gets weaker and milder as it goes along, but it's nice to have it there. Just put it in the morning and let it sit for a few minutes, and then you put it on. And then lastly, you could add 10 drops in a diffuser at night or during the day. When you have the diffuser running at night, it really helps to clear your sinuses because it's going into the air and you're breathing it in very gently throughout the night. And it's going to be working on whatever is irritating your sinus or your nostril overnight while you sleep, and you're in that relaxive and restorative state. So the oils that are incorporated within the blend are things like orange essential oil, clove, which is very well known for its antibacterial properties, and it's also got analgesic properties as well. Eucalyptus, which has a very powerful eugenol in there. That's another very powerful anti-inflammatory, antibacterial compound. Has a bit of peppermint in there. Then you have a couple of other proprietary blend oils that really help to support the strength and the synergistic effect of this essential oil blend, that when you use it, it has so many multi-faceted aspects that whenever you use it, you're always going to find some form of benefit or a combination of different benefits, depending on what your end goal is or may be. So that's the lung support using Respirate. It's going to have a quick look at some of the foods you can use to support that product. You can get the product, as we said, on the website, vivonutrients.com. And we have a number of other outlets that will let you know towards the end. So now let's have a look at some foods that you can use to help to keep your lungs clean. Food is a great way to incorporate more nutrients into your blood. It's one of the most powerful hacks that people are not aware of, because they always think when you want to impact any of your immune system pathways or gateways or strengthen any of your defense mechanisms, you always have to use some form of medication. Well, I'm here to tell you that the greatest form of medication, the most powerful form of medication, is actually your food. Hippocrates said, let medicine be thy food and food be thy medicine. The Bible says, and the leaves shall be for the healing of the nations. He's giving you every herb bearing fruit with seed in it for food. And these are designed to carry all the healing properties that your body needs coming from the source. So some foods you can eat to affect the health of your lungs includes having a healthy diet that stimulates the body's natural cleansing mechanisms and strengthens your immune system. So there's some natural foods that are designed to help support the lungs. So let's start with something you can do on a daily basis. Number one hack is to start your day with a glass of lemon water, and make sure to drink an ample amount of water throughout the day, because most people, when it gets to winter, they tend to drink less. That is actually one of the key reasons why they get sick more, because they have less water intake and they have greater levels of exposure and vulnerability from the effects of dehydration. Because proper hydration facilitates the cleansing process. If your nose is dry, you're not going to get those membranes in the nose well lubricated to be able to trap the organisms before they are able to enter the body. So if you have that dry nose, dry throat, your tonsils aren't going to be able to function properly because they're not lubricated with the right levels of fluid to enable them to operate optimally and protect your blood, because things will go in through your nose and they'll meet the first barracks or the first checkpoint, which will be the adenoids, which is in your sinuses. Before they get there, they've got the membranes in the actual nose, sometimes some little hairs, some tiny filters that are actually in your nostrils that are there to filter out and prevent impurities from getting into your body through your nose. And if they get past those, then the next checkpoint is going to be the tonsils, which is in the throat. So if you get tonsillitis regularly, that means your tonsils have become inflamed because they've been working very hard to protect your body from any opportunistic bacteria or viruses trying to get into your system. If they get past those three checkpoints, then the next stage is that they're going to get to the lung. That's what we're trying to protect them from. But the lung is very robust because it's actually got three different types of immune mechanisms. You've got your innate immune system, which is there in the lungs, which you're born with from your baby, and it continues to remain with you throughout your whole life. Then you have your adaptive immune system, which is the one that adapts to your environment. Depending on where you are, your immune system will adapt. If you're a person that lives in a very polluted environment, your adaptive immune system will kick in and find ways to protect your body while you're in that environment. And lastly, you have your peptides, which are, if everything gets past the first two, gets past your innate immune system, gets past your adaptive immune system, then you've got the peptides, which are there to just push everything else down into the stomach, where it will actually get destroyed by that very acidic environment, which is how the stomach is set up and situated. So that's why it keeps you protected. So you've got quite a lot of immune system operation that's there to protect the lungs. But the main thing with these is that you've got to keep them hydrated, because they all rely on having the right levels of moisture and the right levels of water to keep them functioning optimally. So hydration is key throughout all phases of your immune system function. Another thing you can do is eat foods rich in vitamin C, things such as grapefruit, kiwi, bell peppers. Bell peppers, yes, they're very rich in vitamin C, like your red peppers, your green peppers, your orange peppers. They're all very rich sources of vitamin C. So if you can't get your vitamin C from oranges, because sometimes people have an allergy to citrus type fruits, you can always use bell peppers, red peppers, green peppers, or orange peppers. You can also get a good source of vitamin C from tomatoes, broccoli, and pineapples. But one of the things that we've been doing quite frequently lately is using a lot of the strawberries and having a berry smoothie every day because they're nice and they're tasty. They give you a little bit of a sugar rush in the morning. So that gives you some natural sugar that lasts and gives you that little bit of extra energy during the day. It processes itself through your system throughout the day. So it's got a lot of antioxidant powers that really work on your system, scavenging and cleaning away any impurities in the blood. And you can mix that with some blackberries, some blueberries, some raspberries, locum berries, any type of berries you want. You can, intersperse that with some greens, put some kale in there. You can put some broccoli, some pak choy, whichever type of greens you want to mix them up. Then add some coconut water or fresh orange juice, whichever one you choose, and have that as your daily smoothie. It's a really powerful way to get a lot of antioxidants into your body and a good dose of natural vitamin C, along with all the minerals that these fruits all carry, especially the berries. They're also good for keeping your blood nice and clean and also strengthening your heart. So to get that fruit smoothie going on a daily basis, do it for maybe 7 to 14 days and then give yourself a break. Maybe go to a different type of smoothie because the sugar's going to start to build up and you may well find it starts to impact your gums or your teeth. So if you don't have some level of greens in there to kind of dilute the sweetness, then you want to make sure you only do it for maybe 7 or 14 days maximum, doing it every day, but it will really give your body a massive boost of high levels of antioxidants, in particular vitamin C. And you can get some good fresh, frozen strawberries or frozen fruits. They have a lot of frozen smoothie mixes in most of the supermarkets. I know Waitrose do a very good brand if you're a Waitrose person, or you can go to Lidl. Lidl have a fantastic brand as well, I think, called Freshona. They're also very good. The good thing about having frozen fruits is that as soon as they're ripe and they're picked, they actually freeze dry them and freeze them straight away. So they lock in all of the actual nutrient capacity and nutritional elements which get locked in and maintained, and they're retained throughout the whole of that freezing process. So it goes straight literally from the ground into your body. But the only thing I'd say to be aware of is when you have blueberries. Blueberries are renowned for their ability to retain a lot of the pesticides that have been sprayed on them, even beyond the skin. So you can either not use blueberries as much, or you can make sure you get some veggie wash and soak the frozen fruits in the veggie wash prior to you freezing them. You can also do it afterwards, but it's a little bit inconvenient. So if you do it at the beginning, once you bought them and you bring them home, put it in the veggie wash, soak them for about 10 to 15 minutes, give them a little rinse off, and then put them back in the bag and chuck them in the freezer before they even defrost, just to break down some of the levels of pesticides and herbicides that may still be lingering on the skin. You can also include antioxidant-rich foods like garlic, onions, cayenne pepper, ginger, oregano, turmeric. These are all very good, along with apples and green tea in your diet. If you have any green powders as well, those smoothie powders or those green powders that have, like, barley grass, kale, broccoli, and any of those other types of greens, you can also add those. If you have any of our supplements like Total Food, this is a great opportunity for you to mix that in, Elixir of Life as well, or even Zeo Flush. You can mix those in with your smoothie to add that extra little bit of immune boosting properties and powerful compounds that are really going to help to boost your anti-inflammatory response within your body and really top up your body's natural anti-inflammatory mechanisms. Make sure you also eat folate-rich foods like lentils. Lentils are very good for folate. They also contain a bit of protein and some iron as well. And you've also got things like black beans that will also really help to keep the fiber going. But also, when it comes to your fats, try and have more monounsaturated fats or polyunsaturated fats while avoiding the foods that contain trans fats and saturated fat, which you normally see in processed foods. They're not so good for your fat. A lot of the other fats are more beneficial for your body because your brain will use a lot of those monounsaturated fats and polyunsaturated fats, and things like your coconut oil, which is another very good source. Is why I always say to use coconut water, or you can actually use coconut milk if you want to make a really powerful, strong smoothie. But stay away from the yogurts and all the dairy, especially during the winter, because they put a burden on your immune system. So those are some lung cleansing foods for you to include, and a couple for you to stay clear of. So for some additional lung caring hacks, you can do things like taking a hot shower in the morning or sitting in a sauna. I love saunas. Saunas are a great way to detoxify the lungs and the whole respiratory system. My actual preference is to use the steam, because the steam has a lot more moisture. It more reflects or represents the environment within the lungs. So it's a lot more easier for you to breathe in there as well, especially if you've got, quite good lung health. But if you've not got good lung health, I wouldn't tend to use a sauna as much, because it is quite dry air. It gets quite hot. And if your lungs are already suffering with dehydration, you don't want to subject yourself to that kind of environment for any long or extended periods of time. But try to make sure you use the steam room. I recommend using it at least 3 to 4 times a week if you can. Minimum, I'll say go 2 to 3 times, especially during the winter, to make sure you keep your lungs very, very well cleaned and moistened, and also detoxified, because it really helps you to detoxify the whole of your system. But one thing you got to do when you go to the steam room or to the sauna is to make sure you drink lots of water while you're there, and also before you attend. I don't know if you ever noticed the amount of sweat that may come out if you take your shorts or you take your swimming costume and you wring it out afterwards. If you ever wring it out, if you've ever measured the amount of water that starts to saturate or starts to be to drip out from those garments, when you do any kind of, if you do any kind of study work, if you're scientific like ourselves, you would find out that those garments can hold anything up to 1 to 2 liters of water. Sorry, 1 pint of water to 2 pints of water. So that's a lot of water your body's losing. Can you imagine drinking a pint of water? If you haven't drunk a pint of water, but you recognize that you sweated out a pint of water, that's a lot of water that you've lost. So if you're already suffering with a deficit of water, then going to the sauna or the steam is actually going to make the situation worse in relation to your dehydration. But make sure, if you are going to use it often as we recommend, make sure you increase your hydration levels or take additional water with you, just to compensate for the water that you're going to lose. Another thing we recommend for your lung care is to make sure you quit smoking if you are a smoker, or try and avoid exposure to secondhand smoke from other people, because it really does irritate the lungs. If you have an option to exercise, try to exercise daily to increase your lung capacity and really strengthen the way your lungs actually function in terms of providing oxygen to your blood and other areas of your body, and keeping your immune system in optimal function. Exercise outdoors is in an open area away from traffic or other sources of pollution. If possible, it's a great way to exercise. You can go to your park. You have lots of meetups now where they do groups getting together and they do, walking or running. They have the park run, which is a very famous group. They have them in most areas. And I'm sure they have one near you. Look it up online. You get the park run where you go and join a group, and they do running. They meet on a Sunday morning to maybe run for 1K, 2K, or maybe 5K, 5,000. They call it 5,000. Yeah, 5,000 kilo or 5,000 meters, I think it is. But it's well worth you doing, because when you find that you walk on a regular basis, you're actually exercising the whole of your body, including your lungs, including your respiratory system. And if you do it in a non-polluted area like a park, you really get to benefit from all that fresh air and all that greenery that's going to take out a lot of the carbon dioxide and really provide you with a lot of healthy, clean air or clean oxygen to really saturate your blood with some healthy nutrients that you'll need and utilize to great effect. I did my first 2K walk just this week, and I'm going to increase that every week, so I get to 3K, to 4K, to 5K, just by doing a couple of laps around the park. And then obviously we'll increase that into walking, power walking, then to running. So these are some of the gentle ways that you can build up your stamina. But I always recommend you joining a group, because it's a lot more fun when you join a group. You get the additional benefit of someone coaching you, showing you how to warm up, and also how to cool down, so you can avoid injuries and keeping your body very, very supple to avoid any kind of early restriction to your mobility. We also recommend that you avoid highly polluted and industrialized areas, because where you have lots of pollution in those areas. If you have to go for those areas, make sure you either have a mask on your face to make sure you don't inhale. If you live anywhere near any kind of recycling centers or any industrial areas where they have factories or they have any kind of processing plants that will be pushing out a lot of toxins into the environment, or if you live near any kind of crematoriums. If you have a crematorium or you notice a crematorium in your area or on your high street or your side street, make sure you take extra precaution when walking or commuting past that particular establishment, because they have a lot of waste that is actually released into the atmosphere. One of the things that I discovered over the years, that when you go to have a body cremated, if that body has any kind of amalgam fillings in their mouth, it is actually against the law for that person to be cremated with those fillings still in place. They have to be removed before they actually go into the incinerator, because they know the levels of mercury that will be released from that incineration will cause a public health scandal, will cause a public health problem, and will definitely cause a lot of issues for the local area, who will then be subjected to breathing in that extra mercury just from that 1 or 2 fillings, however many may be in that person's mouth. And make sure you take extra care when going past those areas where they have cremations. Avoid sodas, coffee, and alcohol as well. Keep those to a minimum, because those really cause a lot of dehydration, especially during the winter when you're trying to keep yourself healthy and happy during the winter. Make sure you stay far away from coffee and alcohol, because they really dry out your blood. And if you want to increase your lung capacity, try looking at incorporating some kind of wind instrument into your social activities, because it helps to increase your lung strength and the endurance of your lungs. Now, another thing you want to try and avoid is staying away from sweetened drinks. Or, people sometimes think if they don't go for the pure sweet ones, but you go for the sugar-free or the low sugar version, you're going to actually make yourself some kind of saving or do some kind of favor. It's actually not true. Sometimes it's actually worse. But the best thing for you to do is avoid them altogether, because they're packed with sugar and a lot of harmful chemicals, as well as the artificial sweeteners, such as aspartame, sodium benzoate, and phosphoric acid. I had a online consultation with a gentleman today who has been subject to a lot of health challenges that nobody can understand what is happening to him, why it's actually happening. He was a good, strong 85 or 88 kilograms just in December of last year, sorry, and he's already dropped down to 65 kilograms. So he's losing weight very, very rapidly. And he has no energy. He's got a lot of neuropathy, a lot of pain in his nerves, pain in his feet, pain in his head, pain in his arms and joints. He's having a lot of stomach disorder. And when I had that consultation with him today, one of the things I asked him was, number one, when did it start from? And number two, what were you doing at that time that was different from what you normally do? And one of the things he said to me that was very interesting is that he said he had a job in a specific area, I think back in 2022. And during this job, he was drinking a lot of Lucozade. He was actually drinking, I think, 5 to 6 Lucozade every day. Every day he had 5 to 6 Lucozade. One in the morning, one on the way to the place, another one when he got there at maybe 9 o'clock. So by the morning started, he's already had about 3. He had another one at lunchtime, another one on the way home. That's 5 or 6 Lucozade. Now, when I did some quick calculations on that Lucozade consumption, each bottle contains about 44 grams of sugar. So when I added up his 5 or 6 bottles a day, he was taking anything between 220 and 270 grams of sugar a day just from the Lucozade intake. I then said, one of the things that you're going to suffer as a result of that is severe malnutrition, because you're not going to want to eat any food as a result of you having all that sugar in your system. It's going to spike your blood sugar through the roof. It's also going to trigger high levels of inflammation, because it's going to feed the bacteria are going to be fed by all that sugar. All the bad bacteria will be fed by the sugar in your gut. And it's also going to impact your body's ability to metabolize your food. So he had severe diabetes, a very, very high blood sugar issue that was very hard to control, even with taking high levels of insulin on a daily basis. And the doctors were so astounded that they think that he may, or they've called it a cancer, that he may be suffering from a cancer of unknown origin. That's how bad this gentleman is. And he knew that it was down to, well, he didn't know, but we were able to deduce it today just from having that consultation to help to understand the impact of you drinking those 6 Lucozade every day, those sugary drinks every day for about a 3 or 4 week period was enough to trigger this damage that he's still feeling the effects of some 3 years later. So when we tell you to avoid these sugary drinks, we're not just saying it just, for the sake of, following what they say on the internet. This is based on real hard facts, real hard evidence, and real hard data that people are still experiencing the effects of today. So try and avoid those sugary drinks, because they really do wreak havoc in your body. And just having all that high levels of sugar on its own is going to cause you a lot of problems. So number 1 hack was looking at the lungs. And respirate, number 2, is going to be how we keep the colon clean. Now, the colon is another key area to keeping our body in tip-top condition, especially during the winter months, and keeping our immune system functioning optimally, because I'm sure you know over 70% of your immune system is situated in your gut. You know, the people say, Bible says, my people perish because of lack of knowledge. A lot of people be sick just because they don't know how to keep themselves healthy, how to keep themselves well. So when you have these types of information, it really helps you to supercharge your knowledge and your understanding of the key principles that are required to make sure you maintain your health. You know, the Bible says, tells you in Romans 12 that your body needs to be presented holy and acceptable as your reasonable sacrifice, which is classified as your true and proper worship. So you have a responsibility to look after your body, look after that temple, and make sure you present it holy and acceptable as your true and proper worship. If you're a person that goes to church, if you, I go to church every week, I go to church every Sunday, no, it tells you clearly your true and proper worship is making sure you look after your temple, you keep that body healthy and holy to make sure it stays and remains acceptable, so you can be used to great effect to help the people of the kingdom. So looking after your colon is a key part of you doing that and making sure you're aware of the impact of the colon on your overall health, on your overall well-being, and how how you can actually take care of it using some very, very simple things, very, very simple hacks that we're going to show you today to help you to keep it in tip-top condition. But before we do that, let's show a few conditions that are affected as a result of the colon or problems in the colon. The gentleman I spoke to earlier, he also had severe blockage in his bowels because nothing was moving, nothing was coming out. There was a lot of malnutrition going in, so his body didn't have the right amount of resources and tools to break down the food properly, so things weren't being digested. So nothing was also coming out. You had to always take some form of laxative or prune juice to get the bowels moving. So when you have a high level of buildup of toxins and waste matter like that, it's always going to contribute to additional problems or further compound existing problems that are already there. So some common problems that are associated with having blockage in your bowels, or not the right type of food going into your bowels, or not regularly cleansing your bowels, are things like IBS, which I'm sure you've heard of, or irritable bowel syndrome, which is a common disorder that affects the large intestine, causing symptoms such as cramping, abdominal pain, bloating, gas, and diarrhea, as well as constipation. So if you suffer conditions, you may well be subject to a form of IBS for a long time. Also, bloating is a condition where the abdomen feels full, tight, or swollen, often due to gas buildup in the digestive system. Often this is related to you not having the right amount of resources, maybe not the right amount of bacteria, or not having the right amount of enzymes, digestive enzymes, which affects the pancreas. The microbes or the bacteria are responsible for breaking down your food, converting them into energy, converting the food into vitamins. They make vitamins, they make minerals. These bacteria, these microbes in your gut, they are responsible for so many things that people just have no clue of how important it is to keep your gut very healthy and very well cleansed. So constipation is another issue that is linked to not having the right wellness within the gut. These are conditions characterized by infrequent bowel movements or difficulty passing stool, which results in discomfort and often contributes to bloating as well. And then lastly, you've got things like fecal impaction, which is like a condition where hard, dry stool starts to get stuck to the colon wall, and it makes it really hard for you to pass bowel movements or to pass stool, which can cause a buildup of waste and leave you constipated. So to alleviate all of those issues, you can simply use our very, very powerful OxyFlush, which is a very gentle colon cleanser that cleanses your colon, cleanses the bowel, it breaks down all the waste, turns it into liquid, and helps you to pass it out as like a gentle watery stool. You simply take 1 teaspoon every day for 5 days, mixed with some fresh orange juice or fresh lemon. You stir it and you drink it with a lot of water, and drink a lot of water throughout the day or throughout the night, and that will ensure that your colon gets a very good and regular flush. And one of the boosty bonuses of that is that you find that you'll get a lot of weight loss accumulate as a byproduct of you releasing all those toxins that have been stuck or kept building up in your colon. So cleansing your colon is another great way to free up a lot of those immune cells that are bogged down, trying to manage or contain with the waste that may be accumulated in your colon because it's not being eliminated irregularly enough. Another thing you can do is look at reflexology. This is number 3. Reflexology is a powerful way of impacting your respiratory system, especially when you're having any kind of cold or flu that you're finding hard to shift. You can look at the correlation between the soles of your feet and the function of your lungs. The ball of your feet, where you have that big ball in the middle, is actually the corresponding organ that works directly with the lung. If you were to put any kind of essential oil or garlic or any kind of even food source on that particular patch of your foot, you'll find a direct impact and direct correlation to the way that your lungs start to feel and they start to function. So if you've got a lot of blockage in your lung, you can put garlic, put it in a sock. That actually does work. You can put Respirate, the Respirate lung blend that we mentioned earlier. You can put a few drops on the sole of your feet, or if you've got young children that are suffering with a lot of constant respiratory issues, they're always coughing, always sniffling, or always having runny nose, you can put a few drops of the essential oil Respirate lung support on their feet at night, the bottom of their feet, especially the ball of their feet, and you'll see how they feel the following morning. So reflexology is another great way for you to have some impact on the way your health is operating. Same with headaches as well. Your big toe corresponds to your head. Your second toe links to the sinus, and all the toes pretty much link to your sinuses. So if you've got any kind of respiratory issues, start to look at your feet. As I say, put your feet first. That's number 3. It also, that's number 4 actually. It helps reduce stress and anxiety, lift your mood, improve your general well-being. It boosts your immune system, helps fight cancer, helps recover from back problems as well, helps with hormonal imbalances. It helps to boost fertility, improve digestion, ease arthritis pain, and to get over nerve problems or numbness from drugs or
Ivy. That is extra requirement. He had his full blood count done, and he had his last gas
you
done
mute
at
yourself. Anybody speaking,
four.
please mute
So
yourself,
you can
please.
6:40.
Dean, okay. Lucozade also has aspartame, something not sure spreading. So yeah, aspartame, yeah. Lucozade is very rich in aspartame. Thanks so much for that. Remic is very, very in aspartame. Right. Nadine, I'm gonna have to remove her because she keeps unmuting. I'll put in waiting room. Okay, so where was I? It's from right off here now. I'm gonna get back into my slide. Anyway, reflexology is a very good way for you to access your lungs and your respiratory system and make sure that you keep your respiratory system in optimal function and operation. Now, I have got to get back to my slides, my screen, which I can't seem to find. Okay, here we go. It went and it's gone again. The next one I was going to talk about was the teeth. So let me move on to the teeth while we're speaking. I will go into the teeth because the teeth is an area that we find a lot of people always asking what they can do to help to alleviate any kind of pain or discomfort that comes from the teeth. Now, the teeth is an area that when you are faced with any kind of gum disorder or bleeding in the gums or toothache or the possibility of having a root canal or having any kind of intervention involving the teeth, one of the easiest things for you to do is to embark on our teeth cleansing hack or a gum restore hack. Now, what is the gum restore hack? The gum restore hack is a very powerful hack that really helps you to prevent any kind of operational intervention from being needed or being required. How do you do that? Well, the first thing you can do is start by using the Respirate. When the first sign you get of any kind of problem with your teeth, start by getting yourself a bottle of Respirate. Because when you get the Respirate, you take a drop or two and just rub it on your gums, rub it all over your gums, on the top of your gums and the bottom of your gums. You can put a carrier oil if you want to, because it really helps, because sometimes it gets quite hot because it is pure essential oils. You rub it on just a little bit in the morning and at night. When you do that, the first thing you notice is that the pain after about 3 days will start to subside. Whatever pain was causing you the discomfort that needed the operation is going to start to go away. Why is that? Well, one of the key reasons for that is that some of the oils are very well known for their analgesic properties, which is their ability to reduce pain. They're also well known for their ability to fight bacteria. Oftentimes, the main cause of teeth decay is a buildup of bacteria that's been left unaddressed for any extended periods of time. So when you have those bacteria left unchecked, even though you're brushing your teeth, you may find you need some external intervention to help to bring that bacteria under control. One of the quickest ways for you to get those bacteria levels down is to actually use some of the respirate essential oils. The compounds that are in them. One of them is called cloves. Clove is renowned for numbing pain. Why is it numb the pain? Because it kills the bacteria. Clove is very renowned as a very powerful antibacterial. So just using cloves is going to really help you to reduce the levels of pain in your gums and the levels of discomfort and the buildup of the bacteria that's actually behind the inflammation. Number 2, change your toothbrush regularly. See, now I've got on the slide, I can actually see the order in which I put them. I said number 1 treatment is actually no treatment. The number 1 treatment for your teeth, for your gums, is actually no treatment. No questions at the moment, please. Please reserve your questions to the end. The number 1 treatment for your teeth is no treatment, because any treatment you do for your teeth is always going to come back and bite you later on down the line. So if you have an extraction, you're going to have a hole in your gum. Even if they fill it, you've still got the bacteria building up underneath that hole. And then if you haven't got that problem, you're going to have the issue with having a mercury filling, which is going to be always susceptible to leakage. And you know that the teeth are in a close proximity to the brain, which could increase your risk for developing neurodegenerative diseases, Alzheimer's, dementia, etc. Even memory loss and migraines. So just by having those fillings and just any kind of intervention in your teeth puts the rest of your body at a higher level of risk. So no treatment is the best treatment. Number 2 is change your toothbrush regularly. I'm sure the dentist would have told you this, but I'm going to give it to you really, really simply. If you want to prevent any kind of teeth intervention or any kind of dental treatment, the first thing you want to make sure you do is buy yourself a medium strength toothbrushes, not high, not hard, medium or even low if you've got really sensitive teeth or sensitive gums. Get a set of 4 or 8. Brush your teeth twice a day, no less than twice a day. You can do more, but minimum 2 times a day, morning and night before you go to bed. Every 4 weeks, the dentist may tell you 6, I'm going to tell you 4. Every 4 weeks, throw away that toothbrush and open up a new one, because you're going to be brushing and moving around that waste, that dirt from your teeth. Eventually, if you don't disinfect your toothbrush every night, that's going to start to accumulate and build up on the bristles of the brush. So the first thing you want to do is, after you've had a good clean for 4 weeks, the brush heads will start to decay a little bit anyway. You then throw away that toothbrush and replace it with a new one. If you have an electric toothbrush, they last a little bit longer. Normally they'll say 3 months. I would say 8 weeks to 12 weeks maximum with the electric toothbrush. And make sure when you buy your toothbrush, you get yourself some extra heads, so you're never having to go above or beyond your maximum time, which we say is 8 weeks minimum, 12 weeks at a push. Change those heads regularly. Number 3 is use Himalayan pink salt. Use Himalayan pink salt. As soon as you finish brushing in the morning and the evening, twice a day, brush, get yourself a glass of warm water, put a teaspoon of the Himalayan pink salt and use that to just gargle and just swish around your mouth a little bit, maybe about 10 seconds, just swish around, gargle, spit it out, do another one, do about 3 times, spit it out, and then you're done. Just doing that alone, changing your toothbrush and increasing your Himalayan pink salt rinse, you'll find that your gums will start to retain or start to regain that lovely pink texture and color that they were meant to have when they're really nice and healthy, just because of the levels of mineralization, because pink salt contains a high level of minerals, and salt is also a very good preservative, so it helps to preserve the texture and the quality of your gums. So doing that every day is the first thing you want to do to start off your regime in regaining or restoring your gum health. Number 3, if you want to add to that, which I definitely recommend you should, if you know you're facing any kind of root canal or any kind of serious treatment coming up, get yourself some coconut oil and start doing what you call coconut oil pudding. You simply get a tablespoon every morning, every evening after you finish, put a tablespoon in your mouth, let it melt down, just be pulling, swishing it around for about 5 to 10 minutes. The longer you can do, the better. It has so many benefits by you doing this, because the coconut oil is another very, very powerful antibacterial compound. It has a thing called caprylic acid and lauric acid, which really help to break down any levels of bacteria. It's also good for stimulating digestion, because it really helps to set off your digestive system by cleaning your tongue and starting that digestive process from up in your mouth by providing the right levels of bacteria, by removing a lot of the unwanted bacteria that will prevent you from having a healthy digestive process. So coconut oil pulling is number 3. Number 4, I don't see that on the list. I don't know why it's not there, but it's in a slightly different order. You want to get yourself what we call a bottle of spray called eye mist or l'eau d'argent. Eye mist and l'eau d'argent, they both contain a compound that we have that contains silver, a very powerful antibiotic. You spray that on your gums when you finish brushing, you finish putting that essential oil, you finish putting your coconut oil pulling, you can spray your gums maybe about 5 minutes after with a bit of the l'eau d'argent or the eye mist, which you can use to spray in your mouth and spray on your gums. It will just police your gums all night, making sure that no bacteria that you've already destroyed can rebuild their colony in your gums after they've already been eliminated. You can actually gargle with colloidal silver if you have some as well. Gargle with colloidal silver, but if you have the spray, it's a lot more easy and a lot more convenient for you to use it on a regular basis. But you can also spray it on your toothbrush as well. Then you can rinse or gargle with live probiotics. Now, this is taking it to another level. When you rinse or gargle with live probiotics, this is all products that we provide, by the way. If you can't get live probiotics, because most probiotics providers do it as capsules or powder, but we do liquids, because we find liquids are a lot more higher absorption, they have a lot more higher absorption, they have a lot more higher bioavailability, which means their ability for them to be absorbed by the cells into the tissues where they are required. So if you can rinse with some live probiotics, that's a fantastic way to improve your mouth flora. I know you probably heard of the gut flora, but we're talking about healthy hacks here now that people haven't heard of, but you also have a mouth flora. In fact, you have a flora in every part of your body, which is the balance of good and bad bacteria. So when you use the live probiotics and rinse your mouth with those live probiotics, you're actually depositing healthy bacteria into your gums to help to stave off any insurgencies of any bad bacteria that may try to take advantage of that acidic environment. So rinse with live probiotics every day. Again, this is all twice a day as well. Then number 7, which I say is the last one, is actually to do your flossing if you want to really take your teeth to that next level. I don't like flossing because I don't like the way they feel. I make sure I use all the other ones to really make sure I compensate for what I don't get to do with the flossing. But if you're a person that doesn't mind flossing, then incorporate some daily flossing. Even if you do once a day, it's better than doing it not at all. I've recommended ideally to do it twice a day. But if you're not really like me, like myself, you just want to do once a day or not at all, make sure you do all of the other protocols to make sure you're going to really give your teeth and gums a very, very good chance of not requiring any form of dental intervention. Those are the key teeth hacks, but I've seen people do this. People have asked me for it and I've sent it to them. And I have had dozens upon dozens of people who have come back and said, my goodness, I followed those tips. I did all the ones I could remember. They may not have done all of them, but the ones they could remember. And they've gone to their dentist and the dentist has asked them, what have you been doing? Whatever you've been doing, continue doing it. You no longer need to have that root canal. You no longer need to have that bridge. You no longer need to have that tooth removed. Because sometimes teeth are even, the gums become so weak that teeth have to be removed. But by you doing this, you're actually going to replenish and regenerate the gums to the point where the teeth can now become more stable and more sturdy within their housing, which is the gums. So the most important part of your gums, of your teeth, is actually your gums. Forget about the teeth. They rely on all of their nutrition and all of their health come from the gums. So when you're brushing your teeth, you notice that when you see people get over the age of 50, they start to lose those molars at the back. You start to, as they smile, you can see those gaps. When you're brushing your teeth, spend about another 10 or 15 seconds on those particular teeth, because these are the areas that are responsible for the breaking down of your food. You do a lot of chewing with those teeth. That's why they get broken down a lot quicker. They start to wear and tear a lot easier. So to prevent that from happening, when you're brushing your teeth, be mindful that a lot of inflammation will build up in those two, the one on the right and the one on the left, or the two on the right and the two on the left. Spend about another 4 or 5 seconds when you're brushing just in those areas on the front and on the back, just to make sure that you don't have that tooth loss that you see most people when they get over 50 starting to experience. So those are the healthy hacks for teeth. There's another quick page that shows some of the foods you can use to help to increase the health of your gums. I don't think I've got it on here, but there's one that I use that's called neem. Neem is very, very good. Neem powder or neem capsules, any form of neem is very, very good for gum health. They are renowned. These are things that they don't tell you about because it's not readily available or widely researched, but we are natural health researchers, so we really dig deep into every compound and the way that these compounds can be used to impact or affect your body positively. So neem is one of the ones that we found that is a very good compound that helps to support good and healthy gum health. So you've got sesame oil as well. You can use if you don't like coconut, you can use that instead of coconut oil, sesame oil. Gently swish it around for 10 or 15 minutes. You can do 5-10 minutes as well if you like, but that's another alternative. Peppermint is very good. Green tea is also very good. Guava leaves, turmeric, as you know, these anti-inflammatories, licorice, and also Indian gooseberry or triphala are all very good additional foods or compounds that will help with your teeth. The last one, as I mentioned, was in the food side. You've got salts, regular salt water rinse, cold compress. Salt water is a natural disinfectant. It can help loosen those food particles that you may have missed in brushing. Clove oil, which is contained in the respirate lung support, contains eugenol, which is a natural antiseptic. You've also got eucalyptus and peppermint. These are all very, very powerful that really help with the health of your gums. So that's my health hack. I think number 5 is the last but not least, which is knowing how to social distance away from the fridge. Step away from the fridge. Sometimes we find ourselves getting those late night cravings that will always put us at risk of having something sweet, which is now going to build up sugar in the gums where we don't need to be having sugar, because especially at nighttime when you have the sugar that's left in your gums overnight, that's when the bacteria has a field day because they really feed on that sugar. This is why we always tell people to stay away from the sugary drinks, from the fruit juices, because fruit juices, the sugary ones, the processed ones, they contain a lot of sugar, and sugar feeds bacteria like no other compound, like nobody's business. So the more sugar you have is the more risk you're going to put your teeth on your gums at. So staying away from the fridge at night or staying away from the cupboard is going to prevent you from eating the biscuits or the cakes or whatever sweet, savory you may be requiring at that time of night. This is going to be as a result of you suffering with internal parasites. Now, parasites are a common problem that many people face. They're most common because people don't know they're there, so they don't do anything about them. They'll find themselves being hungry and having cravings, but not really having an understanding as to why they're having these cravings. But oftentimes, the parasites are the thing that are behind these strange cravings. So one of the things that we recommend is taking our XXX combo, which is a great way for you to relieve constipation, fecal matter buildup, and to get rid of those intestinal parasites. These are the worms that really start to accumulate and build up themselves and build their colonies in your gut. They move so stealthily, they move so quietly, you would have no idea that they're there. And most people don't even know they're there until they feel the effects of them and think, why am I always having this sweet tooth? They think, oh, I've got a sweet tooth, and they actually make it almost like it's an acceptable term that they just have a sweet tooth. There's no such thing as a sweet tooth. You're either addicted to sugar or you have control of your sugar. If you don't have control of your sugar, you have parasites. So you just call it either sweet tooth and you just justify them being there, and you think, oh, it's okay for me to always want sweet things. No, it's not okay, because sugar is a toxin to the body. It damages the body, especially when it's done in excess, or if you have the processed type sugar that most people have in the biscuits and the cakes. They live inside our excess matter, and this is why we recommend using the XXX, because the XXX contains oxyflush, which helps to clear out the colon. It also contains elixir of life, which is a very powerful anti-parasitic. It's very good for cleaning up the parasite. It really breaks them down and suffocates them and stops them from reproducing. And liquid oxygen just really helps to oxygenate the blood and keep the environment very uncomfortable for parasites to live and breed and multiply. Another really powerful product that we recommend for parasites is the Ultra Detox, because the Ultra Detox is very, very, very powerful in terms of its ability to break down the different levels of parasites when they're young babies, when they're older, and when they have their eggs, because they're constantly multiplying. So Ultra Detox is a very, very powerful product that really helps to deal with them at all of those 3 different stages. So adding Ultra Detox to your XXX will make your package that much more powerful. You also got things like Maximmune that has a lot of anti-parasitic compounds in there as well. And we have a thing called Zeoflush. These all really contain some really powerful compounds that are very, very detrimental to parasites and their colonies within your gut. So quickly, lastly, to finish up with some combos that we have to support our winter health hacks. You've got our winter health immune support kit, which contains a whole range of different products. You've got the Aroma Fresh Duo, you've got the Respirate Lung Support, you've got the Menovate Balance. Menovate Balance really helps you to sleep. It helps to bring down anxiety levels. It helps you to really regulate your imbalances within your endocrine system. So if you're suffering with, I don't know, any kind of hormone imbalance, Menovate really helps you to just help to reset your circadian rhythm. If you're struggling to sleep, it helps you to regulate your sleep-wake cycle, which is controlled by the hypothalamus in the brain. So you rub a bit on your wrist and you rub a bit on your temples, and you'll be surprised how quickly you fall asleep when it is time for sleep and how deeply you sleep. So that even if you sleep for 4 hours, you'll feel like you've slept for 8 when you wake up. You'll feel a lot more rested and a lot more rejuvenated just from having the addition of Menovate to your sleep regime. So Menovate Balance is a very good product to add to your sleep. You've got things like B complex, which has a lot of compounds that help to boost your metabolism, which support your immune system, helps get rid of any kind of neuropathy, which is like pain from the nerves, which comes from the brain. If you've got tingling in your hands or feet, that's often due to a lack of B vitamins, either B1 or B3. So having the B complex, the liquid B complex, helps you in 2 ways. Number one, you get high levels of bioavailability, which means it gets to where it's needed very quickly. And number two, it has a nice range of B vitamins from B1, B3, B6, and the one everyone talks about, always made aware of, which is B12. But there's a lot more B vitamins with a lot more usage that are very beneficial to the body to have on a regular basis. Then you've got your iron, you've got your Mega C, vitamin C, which has got the camelberry from the rainforest in Peru. And you've also got the king of cleansers, which is Oxyflush, which is like the daddy. It just lays the foundation for all of the above to allow them to be absorbed to a much greater level and effect. You've got the benefits of each product. You've got the brain juice there as well. Brain juice really helps to increase the memory and the cognitive function, keeps you alert, keeps you awake, especially if you're a person that works nights. You might want to keep yourself a little bit alert at night. The brain just helps to increase the blood supply to the brain, helps improve your memory, helps improve your cognitive function, helps improve your resistance to stress and boost your adrenal function, to help to manage your adrenal overload when you have too much levels of stress. By having the brain juice, it's got a lot of the adaptogens like the ginkgo biloba, ashwagandha, gotu kola. These really help to offset any high levels of stress and help to keep your brain functioning and optimized so you can manage any kind of stressful days or stressful situations without feeling overwhelmed. Ultra Detox, as we said, helps clean the blood, the kidney, and the liver, helps support the enhanced metabolism, helps support the colon, and helps reduce constipation because it's got all the antiparasitics in there. It's got your black seed oil, it's got your dandelion, your burdock, all of the really powerful extracts that are renowned for helping with tonifying the liver, the kidney, and the gallbladder. Elixir of Life, as we said, helps clean parasites, helps improve your hair growth as well because they're very rich in silica. Helps with your bones, your teeth, your skin, your nails. One of the things that people always say when they take the Elixir of Life, that their hair starts to grow, when they find their hair growing a bit more noticeably, and they also notice that the gums stop bleeding, especially when they combine it with the vitamin C. So if you want to get in touch with us, you can always get in touch via our Instagram. You know, our Instagram page is Ask Juice Doctor. This has still got all the information on there, but Ask Juice Doctor, Ask.Juice Doctor is our Instagram page. We've got a YouTube, which is the same, Ask Juice Doctor on YouTube, where you see a lot of the testimonials of people that have used the various combos or the various combinations, and they've used these hacks to great effect, and they've got a lot of benefits, which you can now also get for yourself as well. You've got our Valentine's coming up, so Valentine's sale has already started with 10% off all of these products that we mentioned today. You get a special discount just by you logging on to the site. I feel like there's a code you need to use. But if you go to vivanutrients.com, you'll find the Valentine's sale should have already started, which will give you access to all of these products at either 10% or even higher, depending on the amount that you buy. Basically, the more you buy is the greater the discount you receive. Lastly, we've got our hair care combo, we've got the eye care combo, and you've got the skincare combo. These are really good combos that have their own particular hacks within them. The eye hack is a very powerful eye care combo or eye care hack, which helps to really strengthen the power of the eyes. You've got the eye max there, which is something you take internally, which contains things like your bilberry, your euphrasia, your eye bright. These are things that really help to strengthen the blood and increase the blood supply to the eyes, which help to nourish and clean the eyes. You've got the eye restore, which is a very powerful tea, which has a lot of powerful extracts that you only take at night. So when the eyes are sleeping, it really helps to restore the nutrient imbalances in the eyes that are leading to maybe, eye cataracts or any kind of eye degenerative problems. You've got the really powerful hack we mentioned earlier, which is eye mist, which contains, among other things, it also contains silver, nano silver, which is the really tiny particles that really helps to wash your eyes and clean away any kind of maybe bacterial buildup that may be contributing to inflammation within the eyes or within the pupils themselves. You just spray it on and it really, really feel your eyes start to feel a lot more clearer just by incorporating that. So that's the eye care combo. You get them all together. They're already reduced as a combo, but when you add the additional Valentine's discount, it actually comes out at a very, very reasonable and affordable price. The hair care combo is the same thing again. You've got the Elixir of Life along with the hair rejuvenator. Elixir of Life, you take it internally. The hair rejuvenator, you use externally. You apply it, and it has all of the really powerful compounds that really help to bypass the body's normal system of hair regrowth, and it stimulates the follicle reproduction and resulting in additional hair growth. We've seen the evidence, we've seen the results, and we've seen it reproduced time and time again with different people with different hair challenges. And lastly, you've got the skin combo, which has the Elixir of Life in there, the mineral wash, it has the glow, and it has a skin rejuvenator. Oh, I love the skin rejuvenator. Oh, I love the skin rejuvenator. It's got the MCTs in there, which is the medium chain triglycerides, a very powerful hack that people may or may not be aware of that comes from coconut oil, but coconut oil has a lot of triglycerides in them that are renowned for their ability to deal with bacteria and to really get rid of inflammation and to really nourish the skin, lock in hydration, and really give you really good glowing skin results. So those are some of the hacks that are available as combinations that you'll be able to get additional discounts for when you log on anytime before Valentine's. So those are the healthy hacks for winter to keep you happy and healthy. I hope you have found them useful and enjoyable. I was really enjoying presenting it and sharing it with you. Please make sure you share it with as many people as you can, because I know somebody's going to come and ask me, what was the hack that you used for the teeth again? Because they always ask me that for that one in particular, because I know a lot of people are struggling to keep their teeth or maintain their gums in the level or the level of health or wellness that they want to keep it. So just having that additional knowledge and resource of the right tools is a great way for you to prevent yourself from the worry of having to be scared of going to the dentist like I used to be before I discovered and developed the teeth hack. So make sure you share it far and wide. Tell as many people as you can, and sign up to our YouTube channel, Ask Juice Doctor, and subscribe and leave a comment. We'll make sure we definitely get back to you. Also log in to our Instagram, where you get a lot more of these type of videos and hacks. Some of them are shorter than this, but this was a long version because we really wanted to get them all out in one place so you can do the rounds for this coming winter season. So all that's left to say is thank you so much for your ears. If you've got any questions, I will take them after we end the recording, and we'll see you on the next one. God bless you. Thank you so much.